Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and it's free Pattern Friday. Yes, it's free Pattern Friday. I love Fridays. I get to have some fun with you guys and find some really cute and fun blocks to give you or design for you. And sometimes we get complicated ones and sometimes we just have ones that are just a lot of fun. And today we're having fun. It'll be great. Now, this one is called Half Rails, and we're playing around with some, pretty standard sizes that we have in our sewing room, and, great use of scraps too. But first, before we get into this, I want to do our shout out. It's Kate at Kate Hicks. Now, it looks like she's just starting out when we're filming this, and I do want to give her a shout out. It looks like she's going to be very good and very talented. So, if you go over there and you like what you see, please tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. And hit her like and subscribe button too, right? I mean, it is important not to, we got to get out there and encourage these guys, right? Just like, yes, you can do this. You can have fun. Show us what is inspiring you. And that way it becomes inspiring for all of us, right? So this is really a wonderful thing that we're doing. Now, before we get started, this is Mrs. Bannister's Star by Jen Kingwell. Now the pattern can be found in her Quilt Lovely book. A bunch of us got together and we all had the books and we were like, okay, let's challenge ourselves to do this. So in hers, she's making pillows, she's making a pillow and it's just gorgeous. So I decided, okay, I want a couch throw. So I'm going to take her star, add sashing, and I'm going to now put a piano key border around the edge just to use up the rest of the Star Wars fabric that I have. And I haven't decided to call it Mrs. Bannister's Star Wars or Jen Kingwell Meets the Force. I haven't decided yet, but it's just a lovely quilt. My oldest daughter has already claimed it for her. So it's like, well, so much for being on my couch for any length of time, but you have to buy the book. I cannot give you her pattern, right? So I will be demonstrating a similar block, but not her block, and on Y seam Wednesday, and that is just to help you out on how to do your Y seams. But I thought this is the perfect little block to give her a shout out as well, because I'm always inspired by Jen Kingwell. So this is it. Okay, now next up, I talked to you about Kate Hicks. Oh yes, okay. We have a Facebook group. It's so much fun. It's warm. It's welcoming. We have fabric scraps or fabric exchanges by country. We do recipes. We just do a general chat. We have a virtual sewing room in Discord, and we just have a lot of fun in there. So if you're part of that Facebook community, please come join us. We are just having way too much fun. I also had to appoint some more admin people because the head admin person was, it was a lot. It was a lot to do. So I'm kind of spreading out the workload now, right? Those admin people that I have in that Facebook group, I don't know how I would function without them, because they are the soul of that Facebook group, right? It's just amazing. Now, also you're going to find in the show notes, it's so important you get in the show notes, because not only do you get all the cutting instructions, you get everything else I'm talking about here. The Zoom sew dates, right, are listed from now until the end of December. No, I have not looked at 2025 yet because it's busy. Life is busy, and I'm having so much fun with those Zoom sew dates that I'm going to make some commitments to go all the way out until 2025. And when I do, I will put those in the show notes as well. Okay, shout outs. Okay, can you share, like, and subscribe to our video? That would help us out, and commenting also helps our analytics, right? So the more commenting you do, even if it's just a heart, that helps us so much, right? So, and it would be nice to be able to reach more people and, be able to give more free goodwill out to people as well. Now, another thing, speaking of free, I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds. So if your guild or group is looking for somebody to talk to you about using your scraps, elements of design, and making charity quilts, I'm your person. I will try my best, very, very best, to put you into the calendar so that I can talk to your group. Also, I believe this is last, the Chaos Sew Along, my block, I finally finished all the little final designs on it. that is going to come out soon. Now, I'm not sure when this video will drop that we're filming right now, but you'll find once we do peg a date down, I'll be putting it in, you know, so you'll know. But the Chaos Sew Along will start. It's a great scrap buster. So keep your scraps. We're going to have some fun with this. And we are going to make a queen size quilt out of them. And we're just going to have a lot of fun. It's an asymmetrical block, and we're having some beautiful designs with those asymmetrical blocks, what you can do with them and how you can lay them out. So that is coming up soon. Don't forget that. So I think that's it. Come on in. Let's get to sewing of half rails. Okay, we're at the sewing machine. The first thing we're going to do is make rail blocks. Now, these are 2.5 by 6.5, and we're just going to quickly run them through because this block comes together pretty fast and furious. So, hang on. So, and we're just going to do that again, and take your time, line them up. When you do 2.5 by 6.5. You need 3 rail units for your block, right? So then your rail should equal, you know, 6.5 inches across. So it's 6.5 then, and when you add the third one on, make sure your dark is in the middle. And I know I'm using all browns or golds and, you know, beiges, but we're going to have some fun little contrast with us. Okay. Now, there we go. These come together very quickly. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to oh, of course it won't let me do it now. Oh, there it is. Let's just finger press this open. We are going to just finger press this open. This will save us a bunch of time later. Now, when you're finger pressing open, you know, it's going to lie a whole lot flatter because you're going to take this block now and sew it across, right? So you're definitely going to be needing this, you know, nice and flat underneath. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a quick peek, and I'm going to change feet because that's a good idea. I'm just going to get this all lined up the same way. Okay. Oh, for Pete's sakes. I cannot get these two. Oh, there it is. Okay. There. So, there we go. It would lie a little flatter if I ironed it with the seams open. But anyway, so this is open. And now I'm going to take this and line it up this way. And now I'm going to change feet. Of course, it's not one of my videos without changing feet. It's kind of a running gag now, isn't it? Oh, did you see this cute little bobbin sticker? I got my Birdie and Dot, my Gill sister, there. She was at Quilt Canada, and that's the little sticker she gave me for Bobbin Chicken. Yeah, Birdie and Dot have a beautiful website. Wow, do they sell some nice fabric? So you guys got to check them out. So now I'm just going to sew, because I sewed on both the lines, but I don't want to flip my seams, so I'm trying to make sure, you know, make sure they stay open, you know, because they'll give you a nice flat block. Okay. And now you're turning it just a hair. And again, you're going to try and make sure they stay open. Yes, they do. Now, one of the complaints people have with rail quilts, especially the scrappy ones, is they're busy. Yes, they are busy. You know, because you're going to throw that many pieces of fabric into a quilt, yes, it's going to be busy. And when you put it against a low volume, You know, even if the low volume is busy, it gives the quilt a place for your eye to rest, right? So that's kind of important. Okay, there we go. Now, this. Okay. Now I'm going to also change feet again because we're done with this foot. So you would make yourself however many, you only need 2 for a block, like a 12-inch block. And let me get this on. Okay, so what you've got, you're going to cut them up the middle, and I probably should have got a bigger scissor, but this is, we're working with what we have. That's the importance when you're doing scrappy stuff. You got to work with what you have. I don't know how many times I say that. Like, it's just ridiculous how many times a week I say that to myself. Even work with what you have. Otherwise, I'll be 155 by the time I get through all my sewing stash. But anyways, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so now we're going to finger press open all of this stuff. And I'm just going to open it up just like that. And I'm going to trim off the edges before I pop them open, really. Just clip off your little dog ears before you finger press them. But okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And like you see, mine are a little deeper because I like to remove as much bulk as I can. Okay, there. Now, get all that up. All right. So now, there we go. There's another one. And here's another one. It's an identical one to the one we've got. There. So you can line them up like that. And then like this. So now you can start playing around with the middle of this, right? And you can kind of lay them out like that. You can do that with them. Or I kind of like that. You can also do like a pinwheel arrangement where this is your dark, this is, you know, like you go like that with them. Oops. Oh, that didn't work. This would work. That would work. So you can kind of do like a pinwheel or whatever, however you want to do this. But right now you have a half rails block, right? So this is not going to measure 12.5 inches. That's why you need your coping strips on the edge. And by the time you sew this, yes, it's, you know, it's going to be even smaller. I do believe I like the look of this look where I go in and then I point out. I do like that look a lot because that just breaks up this. And all we've done is made 2 identical rails units that are 6.5 inches square, right? So this we're gonna sew. We're gonna sew this together, and we're gonna match our seam, like we're gonna nest our seam when we're putting this together, so we get nice points. Okay, here we go. And there we go. And now we're going to nest this seam. There. And voila, we're done. The seams now. There we go. So now we're going to open it and cut and sew it the other way, right? And this is perfect because you got a big solid stretch here. Now we're going to nest that seam again because you've got this seam underneath, right? So you want to nest that to get a nice clear sharp point. Okay. And you want to make sure that stays open. If at all possible, it needs to stay open, right? Okay. And you got a nice tight nest here. And we're going to nest this up best we can. There we go. Okay, now, okay, so here we go. Here's our finished block, right? Now we can take the back of it and swirl it, but what's next is, okay, I have cut these to, 10.5, and that's obviously not 10.5. So where I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here and trim this block to 10.5 inches square. Okay? Because this is 10.5, this is 12.5. All right? So you're with me so far? I'll be right back as soon as I give this a quick little press, and I'll square it down to 10.5 inches. Okay, we're back. Now, you didn't have to trim if you didn't want to. If you don't want the side pieces on your block, you don't have to do that. As long as you create all of your blocks the same, they'll all be the same size, right, at the end of the day. Now, what I did is I decided, okay, I want something along the top, and I had a poverty piece, this little bit of railing, or this framing. Now, I cut all of the squares the same, so all of the points are off at the same, so it should look okay for a block. I mean, this might, like I say, it might not be your preference to put a frame around it, but for me, I want to work with 12.5-inch blocks for charity quilts, right? Because that's what I'm finding I'm working on, and it's easy, right? Now, when I trimmed everything, what happened was I removed all the bulk that was in the ends, or the middles, right? It's like this here, I removed the bulk that was there. I'll just show you that right a little bit closer. Hang on. When I trimmed off the point, this bulk all of a sudden disappears as well, right? So that's kind of a nice thing to have happen in your blocks, and be a little flatter. But, it's up to you. Like I say, if you make this block and it ends up being an odd size, and you're doing your 6.5s and your 6.5, and then, throwing them in half square front, all of those blocks are going to be the same size. They're just not going to be a standard block size, right? So, and they will fit together. So that's something to keep in mind too. And it does give, this now does give your eye a place to rest. Let's just get the other ones on. Now I'm just going to smooth these out, just like so. There. It really annoyed me. I needed a poverty piece that was just that much short. It was like an inch short. I just can't believe it. But anyways, that's sewing. That's sometimes what happens, and you just have to know how to fix it. There. Just gonna line all this up. The idea is to have fun, not to get all stressed out about it, right? That's the key. When something like that happens, it's like, well, we can just show them this. This is what my grandmother and great-grandmothers would have done, is they would just, okay, make do. Figure it out, make do. And I think we forget to do that sometimes, or we don't think we can, or something. I'm not sure what it is. So I'm just going to finger press this out nice, real quick like. Okay. There we go. This one is, So in this one, I went and played in my beiges and my golds, my gold colors. So I got like a darker gold. It would have almost been a brown. In someone else's stack, it would have been a brown. And, different shades of medium gold. And I thought, okay, yeah, we can do this. Okay, there we go. Now, just a quick show you how I did this on the back, so you can see. Sometimes people give you patterns, and then they don't show you the pressing instructions, and sometimes the pressing instructions will make or break the block. So, you know, I always find it important now to show you guys the back. Okay, so let's flip this over. I spun my seam here in the middle, right? Just to reduce bulk right there. And because it didn't matter how you laid it out, whether you wanted to go with a pinwheel or something, you had to spin this seam. Now, everything here now is lying flat, except this somehow got pressed the wrong way. But, I mean, everything else is lying really, really flat. And, you know, once you spin the seam, everything just falls into place. I took out the bulk by trimming the block down to 10.5 so I could put it in a frame. And then even with this, the outside frame, I decided to push it out and away. So once I finish pressing this now with this new bit of extra framing, it'll be just absolutely perfectly flat, just what we wanted it to be. Okay, so let's get to our ta-da moment. So here's our really fast and fun half rail block. Like I say, you didn't have to trim the center block to 10.5 inches if you didn't want to. If you didn't want a frame around it, you could have just kept making blocks and made your quilt out of that whole, the same idea all the way through. By adding a lot of low volume to this block, you do give your eye a place to rest, and it makes it a little more open, a little more breezy looking. With this, I decided to go with my golds and my beiges, and I think it worked out pretty good. So I hope you give this one a try. It was lots of fun coming up with this for you, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing week ahead and life is treating you good. Okay, you take care till we meet each other again. Okay, bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, you know, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, you know, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!